Let's get into it. We already know that the European Union is strongly rooted in the concept of jus sanguinis, but even so, there are always paths that can eventually lead you to citizenship. From undocumented migrants who are later naturalized by the EU, to people who don't want to live in these countries for long, don't want to become tax residents or spend 10 years living there, but who thanks to a business project end up obtaining citizenship because they develop something of special national interest within the country. The first country on this list is Hungary. In Hungary, you can get citizenship if you launch an interesting project worth around 2 to 3 million euros. In addition, Hungary is a country where you might consider living long term. The security situation is quite good, similar to Poland, and the corporate tax rates are not outrageously high. Also, if you have multiple children there, you can benefit from lifetime income tax exceptions, and as we have seen, the country has quite solid pro-traditional family policies. Something interesting to mention is that if you obtain a Hungarian passport, you won't be granted access to the US like the average Hungarian born in the country would. Hungary is the only country with this kind of exception because the EU, due to security and document fraud concerns, discovered that over 1 million Hungarian passports had been issued to people who had never lived in Hungary, mainly due to automatic citizenship policies granted to descendants of Hungarians in neighboring countries like Romania, Slovakia, Ukraine or Serbia. So if you want to take advantage of Hungary being part of the EU and having one of the strongest passports in the world, but without access to the US, great. Otherwise, we move next door to a neighboring country, Austria. For years now, Austria has been seen as a country that welcomes multimillionaires who contribute directly or indirectly to underdeveloped areas of the country, especially through projects that benefit the local population. Here we are talking about investments of 4, 5 or 6 million euros which can get you a passport within 1 year, for you and your family, without having to live there for too long. Clearly, these programs are not your average citizenship by investment programs. You don't need to visit the country, you don't need to have residency, and you must build ties with the country. Even if you donate, invest or do something remarkable, you won't get it without showing real connection. We have personally had real cases success in both countries, Hungary and Austria, and in Austria and in the other countries I will mention that do offer ESTA access, you can use it even as a naturalized citizen. Continuing in this region, we have Slovakia and Slovenia, two countries where again we have verified cases of successful entrepreneurs obtaining citizenship because they launch factories employing 100 to 200 people. But this isn't as easy or as common as in the two countries previously mentioned. Generally speaking, this path of naturalized citizens by exception, by distinction, by merit, or by honorary practice in area of special national interest, whatever you want to call it, is not handed out to thousands of people each year like in the official citizenship by investment programs. Here, only the very best of the best, those willing to carry out serious projects in the country, are selected. And in the case of Slovenia and Slovakia, when someone is naturalized through this route, it hits the national news. Everyone hears about it because citizenship is very protected in these countries. These aren't given to hundreds of people, we are talking about a handful per year at most. Maybe if you invest 10, 20, 30 or 50 million euros and develop a project like what you would do in the Emirates, but tailored to the Slovak population and culture. It's not easy in these two countries, but it is possible. We already know that Malta suspended its citizenship by investment program, it's being stopped. I warned about it on the channel some time ago, but there are efforts within parts of the government to bring it back, though this aimed at much more selective, highly qualified individuals who may need to show deeper ties than before and contribute more financially. We are talking about new requirements like 3 million euros, living in the country for a while, owning a home, not without the investment, donating to specific sectors or national projects, similar to what was done in the official program, but broader and with stricter requirements about who gets accepted and who doesn't. For now, that's all we know. They are not granted it yet, we will keep you updated, but my prediction is this: higher prices, more due diligence, more restricted countries, and fewer people approved per year. Since we are talking about Europe, let's step outside the European Union and mention two bonus countries you should know: Serbia and Albania. In these two countries, both outside the EU, you can also obtain citizenship by exception or distinction without having to live there or follow the standard naturalization process. In these cases, if you pursue a more modest project, we are not talking millions, but maybe several 100,000 euros, maybe $500,000, maybe a bit less or a bit more. It all depends on your international profile, what you want to do inside the country, and how it's going to benefit them. Both countries oppose the woke movement, oppose the globalist agenda, and for many people who don't like being in the EU, Right now, they are valid options. I'm a citizen of the EU, I'm originally from Spain, and I know what's coming to the European Union. But right now, it doesn't make sense to renounce citizenship, especially knowing that there is no enforced taxation by passport yet, and that these governments don't have anything like FATCA in place, at least for now. What I personally like, beyond the strength of the passport, is that you can consider living in many EU countries that still offer a very high quality of life. I'm not telling you to go to live in countries that are clearly collapsing, that's out of the question for me, but you can get residency in another EU country without needing to make a huge investment, unlike in Mercosur or the countries under the Central American Free Mobility Agreement. We work exclusively through government-recognized channels, with programs where we have already secured citizenship for our clients, whether by descent, by investment, or by exception. This isn't about printing a fake passport at home or uploading forged documents to a system and then claiming the originals were lost in a fire at some office. These are official passports granted by the state, where the head of government personally reviews your file, evaluates how and how much you will contribute, and decides that you deserve to become one of their citizens. If this sounds like something you are interested in, I invite you to fill out the form in the description so we can help you secure your second passport as soon as possible. Because this isn't easy. Not every law firm can do this, and these passports are not handed out to just anyone. Only when you have a clear plan and have been through this process multiple times do you start to understand why some are approved and others are not. You won't find much information about this online because many real cases exist, and the few that do are only known by the firms actively working on them. None of this applies to real estate. Maybe it helps a bit, maybe that's some roots in the eyes of the government, but it's not decisive in these cases. Contributing to a field of national interest is something else entirely, and if you hold a passport from a country they consider high risk, they may not want to grant you citizenship for fear of reputational damage. I'm not racist, I'm not xenophobic, but this is what I'm seeing with these more delicate options. Yes, you can obtain a European passport without living there, without paying insane taxes there. You just need to be smart, use official channels, and have the right contacts. Fill out the form in the description and we will see you there.